Today's video is about moisturizing the skin. I'm gonna teach you how to moisturize the skin properly, but I'm gonna do it in a slightly different way than what you see usually on YouTube or everywhere else. In fact, I'm not gonna just give you a list of products that are good, I think are good moisturizers. I'll give you a link and then ask you to buy. I'm actually gonna go through some aspects of formulation of these moisturizers to make you understand what is worth your money and what is not. Also, I'm gonna give you the basic principle and the basic ingredients you need to look for when shopping for a moisturizer. If you don't know me, welcome to my channel. My name is Luisa. I am a cosmetic chemist and I also have my skincare line. I hope you find this video useful. I hope it will change your perspective. If it does, please subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend. Let's go into the topic, the subject of the video. So the first thing that I want you to know, this is a very unpopular opinion, especially among experts and even more among brand owners. I'm quite sure I am the only brand owner that is gonna tell you what I'm about to tell you right now. And this is it. Not everyone needs a moisturizer, okay? This is the first rule. Not everyone needs a moisturizer. I don't care what you read online, what your friend Jamie tells you, bloggers, influencers, they all tell you that the basic skincare routine should include a moisturizer, right? Well, that's not true. I mean, if your skin is not dry, you just don't need a moisturizer. And this is gonna be even more clear, the reason why, as I move forward into the video. So again, not everyone needs a moisturizer. Please forget this terrible advice. And so let's see. If you have dry skin, yes, you do need a moisturizer. If you live in a very dry area where especially winter it gets very cold, yes, probably you need a moisturizer. Conversely, if you have oily skin or live in a very humid climate, if it's summer, you definitely do not need a moisturizer. And when I say that, I also want to include oil-free moisturizers, okay? If you have oily skin, just do not use any moisturizers because you don't need it. The skin, when it's oily, it's because there's an overproduction of natural skin sebum, skin oil, and this sebum keeps the skin moisturized, which means again that you do not need to add any other moisturizer. By all means, this doesn't mean that you should never use a moisturizer, meaning that if you enjoy the experience of applying a cream or rich moisturizer on your skin, by any means, go for it. I support you. I love it too. I do it. I mean, when I need it, I do it. And you know, if that's your case, then feel free to use a moisturizer. My point is that I don't want you to feel compelled to buy a moisturizer because if your skin is normal, you have no issues, you probably don't need one. Now, after clarifying this first point that I think is very important, I want to dive into how cream moisturizers are made. Okay, I already said the key word when we are talking about moisturizers is cream. Moisturizers are creams. Creams are formulations that are made out of usually 2 to 3 different phases. We have a water phase, which usually takes approximately 60% or more of the formula. Then we have an oil phase that takes approximately 15 to 20%. We have the emulsifying system, which could be approximately around 5%. We have the preservative, but the key message that I want to convey is that the best moisturizer have the perfect balance between ingredients that are in the water phase, ingredients that are in the oil phase. The emulsifier only serve the purpose of keeping the oil phase and water phase all together. Okay, so the best moisturizers are those that contain, take notes, okay, they contain humectant ingredients and calming, soothing ingredients in the water phase. And then they contain occlusive ingredients in the oil phase. Let's see why. So this is because the ideal moisturizer should provide the skin with proper hydration. This is achieved through the water phase of the product, but also the perfect moisturizer should be able to lock in pre-existing moisture, and this is achieved through the oil phase, which is occlusive. When I say occlusive, I mean that certain ingredients such as botanical oils, silicones, petrolatum, waxes, all these kind of ingredients, they tend to form a film on the skin, and this film is hydrophobic, meaning that, an offensive word, meaning that it does not allow water to pass. It repels water, which means that even if your skin barrier is damaged, and you notice that because no matter how much cream you apply, your skin is always dry. Occlusive ingredients really help to prevent this moisture loss from the skin. So if your skin barrier is fine, you're not gonna lose any water. Still, these kind of occlusive ingredients are just useful because even if you sweat, they just prevent you water loss from the skin. Okay, so you probably have noticed that I just mentioned the skin barrier. The perfect moisturizer also contains ingredients that go and enrich the skin barrier. These ingredients are, for example, ceramides. Ceramides, cholesterol are ingredients that are usually can be included in both phases depending on what ingredients we are using, but when you look at the label of a moisturizer, it's always better if it contains ceramides, cholesterol, all these sort of ingredients that really go and protect and rebuild actually the skin barrier. This is very important because, like I said, sometimes no matter what we apply, our skin is always dry and we don't know why. I tell you right now why. The reason is that your skin barrier is damaged and it is letting water go. Okay, this is why the skin cannot retain water, and this is why it's always dry. Okay, so now let's just move forward a little bit. What are the ingredients that you should be looking in the water phase? Well, we said that the water phase has hydrating power, should have hydrating power, which means that the occlusive phase locks in the moisture, which while the water phase provides with additional water to the skin. And now I think you're seeing the bigger picture here. This is why you need all these three components to work together. You want to minimize water loss, you want to provide additional water and moisture to the skin, and also you want to make sure that the water that's already in does not get lost with sweat or whatever happens throughout the day, okay? So what are the ingredients that we find in the water phase and can increase and give our skin more hydration, which means more water basically? These are what the humectant ingredients. Humectant ingredients are very common in moisturizers, so I have almost no doubts that you will find them. Those are, for example, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, propanediol, urea. These are I would say these propylene glycol. These are the most common ones. Of course, there is a difference between using a cheap humectant as glycerin compared to more fancy humectant like hyaluronic acid. But don't get me wrong, the difference is just mainly in the price, which means that glycerin, even though it's cheap, is one of the best humectants we know. My point is that do not pay $50 for a moisturizer that only has glycerin. $50 is a price that you want to pay for a product that contains premium ingredients such as hyaluronic acid, the ceramides that I was mentioning before, and some maybe botanical oils, okay? Well, when we talk about moisturizer, another question you probably might have is, what should I avoid? Okay, I want you to avoid everything that might be comedogenic, which means that it could cause acne. And these are, sorry, I know there are fans of these ingredients out there, but trust me, I wouldn't use them. These are coconut oil, shea butter, and all other natural butters and some botanical oils. There's a list of comedogenic ingredients that you can check it out. I'm just gonna leave you the link in the comment section. Try to avoid these oils that can flare up your acne, especially if you have oily or sensitive skin. But again, if you have oily skin, you shouldn't be using a moisturizer in the first place, so remember that. Another detail that only someone that formulates products can tell you, and that would be someone like me, a cosmetic chemist, is that there isn't much difference between the formula of a serum, the formula of a moisturizer, and the formula of SPF. I mean, of course, formulas are different, but even sunscreen, SPF, and even serums contain a little bit of moisturizing ingredients. They share some ingredients with moisturizers. Why this is important? This is actually very, very important, because the beauty industry sometimes, makes you believe that you need a moisturizer because that product has unique benefits for your skin. But actually this is not completely true, because like I said, let's take for example silicones that are widely used occlusive agents widely used in moisturizers, and they are very occlusive, so which means again that they lock in your skin moisture. You find a lot of silicones into serums as well, and you find silicones even in sunscreen. Especially in sunscreen, you're always gonna find a lot of silicones, because the sunscreen by definition needs to be waterproof, so it needs to repel water, so they add a lot of silicones. These silicones, yes, have function in the moisturizer, but have the same function in the SPF too, which means that basically if you don't buy a moisturizer but you buy a sunscreen, you're still gonna get some of the benefits of the moisturizer. So buy a moisturizer, a pure moisturizer, really only if you have severely dry skin that's red and like I said, is very dry. Otherwise you can get away by using sunscreen throughout the day. You're gonna achieve two goals, like two birds with one stone. You're gonna be protected from the sun, and also you're gonna have some moisturizing benefits. Conversely, you could also use a serum. Serums contains a lot of hydrating ingredient and silicones as well. In fact, serums sometimes from a formulation standpoint are very close to moisturizers. It's just that they contain a higher amount of active ingredients such as vitamin C or other active ingredients, and they are a lot more lightweight compared to a moisturizer, so application is more elegant. They spread easily and they absorb quickly. Still, serums can have some moisturizing effects and benefits, so if your skin is normal, you apply a serum, honestly I doubt that you feel the need to apply a moisturizer as well. Again, if you feel the need, do it, but I just don't want you to do it just because, you know, some companies online are telling to do that. Always use common sense. I mean, skin that's healthy, that's moisturizer, is soft and it feels good. So if that's the case, I don't think that you know, you need to apply a bunch of different products. There's no need. Yeah, I hope this is it for this video. I hope it was useful. I hope you enjoy it, and I see you in the next one. Thanks.